Finally, we come to an exceedingly harmful feeling, which is even praised by some of the old men: doubt. Doubt is a disease of the soul. Science recognizes the poison caused by fear and doubt. Doubt is a cousin of fear and decomposes the organism. Physical health alone cannot save man. Health of the spirit is needed. It is self-destructive. The one who doubts harms not only himself, but also the benevolent forces. The very emanations of such a person prevent the assimilation of the energy sent to him. Such a one cannot make contact with the subtle world and cannot sense the reality of subtle influences. He remains in a state of constant negation and destroys his own creativity. If you give in to doubts, you weaken yourself, namely your higher self. It is not fitting for the followers of the teaching of life to give way to depression and to weaken themselves by doubt. All great people were great precisely because they did not doubt. It disintegrates your psychic energy. Doubt means the downfall of quality. Doubt is the tomb of the heart. Doubt is a source of ugliness. Doubt devours psychic energy. The worm of doubt is a very indicative symbol. Actually, the worm is similar to a bacillus, which decomposes psychic energy and influences even the composition of the blood. In times to come, scientists will reveal the psychic and physical peculiarities of the man who falls into doubt. Wavering robs you of the strength necessary for effective action. Doubt corrodes everything. No energy comes into action through such a poisonous handicap. It is incompatible with firmness and purposefulness. If you are not quite sure of your cause, you will not find within you the strength to walk the path to the goal you have chosen, unswervingly and despite all difficulties. The skeptics will never soar over an abyss. Uncertainty extinguishes the fire of enthusiasm. Let doubt fall silent, for it has put out the fires of the heart many times. It obstructs your best opportunities. Why is the evolution of the world so slow? Negation will prove to be one of the principal causes, for it is deadly. Like doubt, it cuts off all the ordained possibilities. Doubts make it impossible to develop the higher skills that are inherent in you. A man can sit upon the water. Advancing further, a yogi can stand upon the water. At the slightest doubt, despite all physical accomplishment, the man will immediately drown or fall. Even the slightest doubt will make it impossible to walk on water or fire, or to levitate. Please recognize doubts as an attack of the dark forces to make man small and weak. Creating doubt is one of the favorite methods used by the Dark Ones, and he who doubts is already defenseless. Chaos is jealous and raging. It overwhelms wherever the least vacillation is found. Chaos loses no opportunity of breaking through a weak barrier. A skeptic is unfit to serve the high ideals of hierarchy. Steadfast is he who has devoted himself to the highest. If there is any wavering in him, it means there has not been a true conception about the highest. A faint-hearted and shirking man cannot serve the brotherhood. Worst of all are doubts about the spiritual foundations of existence, about the reality of the higher worlds, of God or the masters of wisdom, or about the immutable laws which govern our lives, such as evolution, hierarchy, karma, and reincarnation. This is a terrible aberration. Let doubt not overshadow the light of discoveries. Such a person finds no meaning and no task for his life, no path to follow and no goal to strive for, because for that he would have to be completely and unquestionably convinced of something at least. The much lamented lack of meaning in life comes from the failure of modern man to recognize anything higher than himself and to cast doubts on everything and everyone that looks somehow great. In Germany, after World War II, as a reaction to the terrible aberration of Nazism, an entire generation lost, along with the dreadfully disappointed faith in the leadership of the state, also its childlike, pure trust in the wisdom of the world order as a whole. They resolved not to believe in anything at all anymore. The highest ideals, for example, the concept of leadership or common good taking precedence over self-interest, were first abused and then discarded altogether. This generation of parents brought up their children to doubt and critically question everything, and not to recognize any authority whatsoever. A purely negative program. Nothing constructive or uplifting was taught. Many have taken the opposite extreme of so-called anti-authoritarian education. According to this erroneous concept, children are no longer told what is good and what is bad, what is allowed and what is forbidden. This has deprived an entire generation of any basis for meaningful life and action. Why are you telling me all this? In order to show the devastating, disintegrating consequences of doubts about the spiritual fundamentals of existence, both for the individual and for human society as a whole. People who deal with the existential questions of life from a purely intellectual point of view may proclaim like Montaigne, "What a comfortable resting pillow is doubt for a well-built head." As opposed to that, Agni Yoga teaches he is a false teacher who elevates doubt into dogma. Because we want to advance evolution, and for that we need a reliable compass. A yogi has chosen a clear-cut path, and it would be unfitting for him to degrade himself by wavering. Doubt is a spiritual poison that you have to fight consciously and deliberately. Can I really overcome doubts through willpower? Yes, this is even vital. You can and must by all means set about seeking or creating a spiritual foundation on the basis of which you can answer all your questions. First, you have to overcome your doubts. Then you will succeed in attaching to hierarchy. And finally, help from above will come. When the dust of doubt is blown away, you will have the strength to resist all enemies. And you will not be alone. Supermundane breezes will strengthen you, and our shield will cover you. Uncertainty arises from ignorance. Anchor yourself firmly in the knowledge of the fundamentals of existence, the basic laws of the universe, the mission, the life task, the path, and the goal of man. Where do I get reliable information about all this? The books of Agni Yoga impart all the necessary knowledge and answer all your questions. I am not quite sure whether I will be able to read through and understand the thousands of pages of these scriptures in the foreseeable future. then watch or read our serious introduction to Agni Yoga. There you find a short, concise and easy to understand summary of the most important teachings of living ethics. We cannot be grateful enough for this treasure. Look how people of past times, for example Tolstoy, tormented themselves because the Christian teachings, distorted over the centuries, were no longer able to give them any orientation. We today are better off. Agni Yoga clearly and unambiguously lays the spiritual foundations on which we can base our life and our work. Let us not waste this opportunity. Let us do better than our ancestors. Once you know the cosmic laws of evolution, hierarchy, karma and reincarnation, the meaning of life and of suffering, as well as the benefits of obstacles, you stand on a firm foundation and overcome your doubts. Of course, you should not believe blindly what others tell you, using the scientific methods of observation and experience. You can develop unshakable convictions to guide your thoughts and actions. Is there anything immutable at all nowadays that I can rely on for all times? Not on the material plane. Here, everything is relative, in constant movement and change. Evolution is progressing every day. Immutable and eternal are only the principles of the higher world. So I set up a dogma once and stick to it for all eternity. No, that is the wrong track of the fanatics. The laws of the spiritual world are indeed immutable, but the ability of man to grasp and to apply them properly is imperfect and varies greatly from individual to individual. Your consciousness, and with it your ability to recognize the eternal truths and to implement them in your life, will hopefully grow over the years. That means you have to check your convictions again and again, and, if necessary, develop them further. Readjust, adapt, deepen, spiritualize, and refine them. But even with those principles you are able to grasp at the moment, you already have a secure foundation for coping with life.